The entire time I was watching this movie, I kept wondering if they were just using the term Uber or if this was an actual product placement film. And after watching it, it's definitely a product placement film by Lyft. Because I don't think Uber wants their name attached to this after this film.
I always thought like Stuber was like a combination of stupid and Uber.
Oh, that's not what they were going for, probably. They probably didn't want that. Yeah, Stuber only works if you know that the main character's name is Stu and he drives an Uber. If you don't, and you just like see the poster, I didn't think about this, but you're right. That's more probably where your mind's going to go. Ooh.
That's bad advertising.
One of the many flaws of this film. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is our post-Geekout reaction for Stuber, if
Which
you couldn't
you
tell.
saw, but I didn't.
Yes.
I was not very interested in that movie.
We took turns feeling crappy this weekend.
Yes.
You were feeling crappy, then you started getting better, then I felt crappy, so that's why these reviews are coming out late. Not that anyone really cares about when my review of Stuber goes up, but hey man, there really wasn't much coming out this weekend.
Nah.
So, yeah, we are like halfway through July, which means summer movie season is now dead.
Yeah.
Pete is going nuts. Pete
Yes.
wants us to talk about Stuber. So, this film, so have you seen the trailers?
No, I've only seen the poster.
Okay, because there is something about this film that is not in the trailers that no one has talked about yet, and it's a major part of the plot, and it's shocking to me that has not been brought. Maybe it's in like a TV ad, maybe there were multiple trailers and I only saw some of them, but basically what this is that it's a cop played by Dave Bautista, and he has to go and investigate this case, but he has to take an Uber to go there, so he's basically dragging this poor Uber driver around town, forcing him to go from one place to the next, and the Uber driver gets in way over his head. They want this to be like an odd couple buddy comedy kind of thing, kind of like Midnight Run, where they start off really hating each other, but by the end they learn to trust each other. You know, we've seen 1,000 films like that. There is a massive part of this story that they have not talked about, and it is so shocking that they hid this completely. Dave Bautista's character is blind.
Oh.
Not like 100% blind.
But like legally blind?
He gets LASIK surgery at the beginning of this movie.
And that's why he has to take an Uber.
That's why he has to take an Uber. He can't drive himself. This thing starts off after he finds out from his contact, oh my goodness, this guy who I've been tracking and killed my partner, which his partner, by the way, played by Karen Gillan, played by Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. She is a big star at this point. She's got Guardians of the Galaxy, she's got that Marvel money, she's got Jumanji, which was a shockingly big success. Yeah, she is a name, and she is in this for 5 minutes so that she can die at the beginning. And all I can think is that Dave Bautista was like, well, we need someone for this. You know what? I'm gonna call my old Guardians of the Galaxy buddy here, Karen Gillan. Let's see if she wants to do this. Yeah, I'll do it for 5 minutes. I don't care. It'll be a fun day. I get to hang out with Dave Bautista or whatever. That's all I can think. Because it is so weird to have that big of a celebrity be in here just to die at the beginning of the film. So, sorry if that's a little bit of a spoiler, but I've always said if it happens within the first 5 minutes, it's not a spoiler. That's just the setup for the plot. Although I am going to spoil a few things here before we even get to the spoiler section, because I have to bring this up. This script is one of those that thinks it's really clever, but it's actually kind of lazy, because I've said many times, a good way to just easily win me over is have something that is set up early in the film come all the way back around. Take something that you established and reference it way later in the film, have it become a crucial plot point way down the road. Sorry for covering up your face here multiple times.
It's fine. Peach is covering me up a lot.
Yeah, Peach wants attention, and she always wants attention when we want to record. We really should just add Peach to the title card for these. But here's the thing. I gotta come in here and I gotta spoil a couple of these things. They have like 9 or 10 things that get set up, come back around, and they're all so obvious you call them as soon as they mention them. There was a moment after, his name is Stu, but I keep just wanting to call him Kumail Nanjiani, but I feel like I should call him Stu because his name is in the title. It's one of the rare times in which I actually know a character's name because it's there in the title. But there's a moment in which Kumail Nanjiani, he finds out that Dave Bautista is a cop, and he starts asking him these questions, and he goes, so have you ever jumped in front of a bullet to save someone's life? What? Yeah, you know, like gun, someone, you. diving from it. And he goes, no, that doesn't work in real life. No, you can't actually do that in real life. Time doesn't just slow down when something like that happens. You think it's actually possible to move in front of someone in the amount of time that takes for a bullet to travel from a gun into someone? It just can't be done. What do you think is going to happen at the end of this film? Yeah. Yeah, you know that's going to come back around. Or there's a moment in which Dave Bautista is making fun of Kumail Nanjiani because he's crying. He goes, hey, it's okay to cry. Real men cry. No, no man has ever cried. No real man ever cries. You did when you were a baby. No, totally didn't when I was a baby. You don't even remember that. I remember every moment of my life. Just, they have little back and forth like that constantly. And he's setting up this thing of, yeah, real men don't cry. Do you think Dave Bautista's gonna cry at the end of this film? There is one thing that they don't even really set up, but I called it the second it was introduced in here. Like, even pre-introduced. Because Kumail Nanjiani, he is going into business with this woman and he has got this huge crush on her. But before you even know about that, he's just looking at his phone and he sees a picture that she took of her and her boyfriend. And he just goes, oh man, she's back together with him. Oh man. And then you see Dave Bautista and he's talking about how he's got to go and get LASIK. And he's talking about that to the head of the police department. And she goes, yeah, why don't you get that nice young daughter of yours to go and drive you around? Kumail Nanjiani is going to hook up with his daughter by the end of the film. Yes, I've instantly called this. Yeah, that does happen. And again, I'm sorry, this is like the closest thing I will get to a spoiler. That doesn't even happen on camera. They skip ahead by a few months to give you like the epilogue. And it goes just straight to Christmas. And Dave Bautista goes up to his daughter's house and then Kumail just slides into place and goes, yes, this is happening now. Yes. They didn't even bother with that one. I just looked at it and went, yeah, but we know it's gonna happen. Like, before the daughter is even seen in the film, I knew it was going to happen. So yeah, I had to go ahead and address that. It feels like the movie thinks it's being really clever because, again, hey, if you can take something from early in the film and bring it back around, that is a clever thing to do. But man, it's so obvious. Like, they stop the whole film to turn to you and go, plot point, this is important, everyone. So yeah, Dave Bautista plays this really hard, grizzled badass, super intimidating macho man character. Kumail Nanjiani, he's kind of a little bit of a wimp, but he has to get this Uber job. He has to keep this Uber job around because he does have another job, but he has to work both jobs because he's trying to open up a spin class with this woman he has had a crush on his entire life, but he doesn't have the money for that, so he needs to have both these jobs. And he keeps getting bad scores, mostly just because the people he drives around are assholes. And if your score drops below a 4 if your score drops below a 4, you can't work for Uber. They fire you, apparently. I didn't know that was a thing, but sure. But his score right now is at like a 4.1. So Dave Bautista keeps telling him, hey, if you want this 5-star rating, you gotta keep the engine running while I'm in here. Okay. So they do set up a reason why Kumail can't just leave, but it's a really dumb reason. Like, you keep thinking about, okay, you gotta imagine he's got a 4.1 right now. Even if he gets a 1-star rating, he probably drives around hundreds of people. I mean, he's been doing this for weeks now, and you probably do, a couple dozen people every single day on this job. Yeah, man, just getting another 1-star rating, it's not going to cause you to instantly lose this. Yeah, they set up a reason for it, but it's such a half-ass reason. But then when it comes to why Dave Bautista would demand to keep working with this Uber driver, it's just because he doesn't want to call for backup, because he doesn't like asking for help. But he's asking for help from a random Uber driver. Have you ever seen one of those movies? Have you ever seen one of those movies where literally like 15, 20 minutes into it, you just go, there's no reason for this movie to exist anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't mean they shouldn't have made this film. I just mean plot-wise, yeah, everything is resolved by now. There's no reason for this premise to continue right now. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, you are going to get hit so hard over the head with that over and over again in this movie. This is a movie that just constantly challenges you to ask, why is this still happening right now? Why doesn't Kumail just dump his ass right now? Why doesn't he just run away at this moment? There are moments where he tries to do that, and then Dave Bautista's like, I got your keys, I stole them off you when you didn't see it. So, alright, they do like the barest minimum, like the slightest, to allow me to live outside of reality right now. and accept that this premise can continue, but it is tough. It is tough to keep that going. And as for Dave Bautista being blind, he's Mr. Magoo throughout this whole thing.
Oh my god.
And it's very weird. It's so weird seeing Dave Bautista being a complete badass, but in situations where he doesn't know what's happening. And there's moments where you can get a chuckle out of that, but there's so many other moments in here where you look at it and go, this just feels awkward and I kind of want to leave right now. Like the very first time when this really comes into effect, he gets this call. And he's told from his contact, and he says, yeah, man, this deal is going down tonight. This is your last chance to get this guy because starting like tomorrow, this is being handed off to the feds. So he knows this is his last chance to get this guy. And he just runs out to his car, and he just starts driving around completely blind, and he's yelling, all the way, move! And there's no one in front of him, or he's just screaming out like, everybody, look out, clear the road! And he's driving through someone's yard, knocking over a tree. Yeah, it's a sequence that goes on for a long time, and that kind of describes all of the Dave Bautista can't see sequences. Like, okay, it's kind of, you could have gotten a chuckle on this, but oh my god, this just keeps going and going. And again, they do that in every scene. It is amazing to me that there are enough scenes of Dave Bautista not just wandering around and fumbling over his own feet, that they were able to make a trailer not showing any of that. It's so weird they kept all of that out of the trailers, because it's a huge part of this. So I've mostly been describing this kind of in negative terms, but I will admit, I gotta say, yes, every now and again I would get a chuckle out of Dave Bautista. Every now and again, the situation they would be in, it would be weird enough that would keep me invested, it would keep me going. The saving grace of this film is Kumail Nanjiani. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing that I said about Men in Black International. That film really has nothing going for it, but I got a few chuckles out of Kumail Nanjiani in that film. Kumail Nanjiani is a talented, charismatic dude. Kumail Nanjiani is kind of like our generation's Ryan Reynolds, which is weird because we still have Ryan Reynolds. But you remember early in Ryan Reynolds' career, he did a lot of crap, but you didn't really recognize it was crap because you liked Ryan Reynolds in it so much. That's kind of what Kumail Nanjiani is right now. I enjoyed him in this film, and not everything he does in this film. There are a lot of lines that he has given that no one could make work at all. Like, it is beyond even his power. But there's a lot of other lines that feel like they were improv. And they mostly feel like they were improv because they worked, compared to a lot of the other lines in this film. So, yeah, that kept me with this film. And in the end, after I left this movie and after I had a day or two to process this thing, because I saw this on Thursday, we're recording this on Saturday, I gotta admit, I remember some of the bad moments in here, but I remember a lot of the good stuff in here. But I can tell you right now, as I was watching the film, there were way more bad moments than good, but the good moments stuck with me, and the good moments made me leave the theater and go, you know what, I wasn't mad that I saw that.
It was just a very okay, mediocre.
You know what, it was slightly above okay, because even the bad stuff was so weird that it at least redeemed itself in some way. Like, I was never bored. I gotta give the film this. I was never bored watching this film. And when it comes to a comedy, there is nothing worse than a boring comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're just sitting there going, that wasn't funny. Oh my God, just move on. Let this film be over with. I was never bored in this film. I didn't find a lot of it funny, but even when I didn't find it funny, I was sitting there going, oh my God, they're doing this. These things are happening on the screen right now. And then when it was good, Kumail Nanjiani was able to pull it around and was able to make it work. So, yeah, man, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Just slightly above the 50-50 ratio there. It is not worth seeing in theaters. I will let you know that right now. It is not worth seeing in theaters. But when this thing comes on, like,
Netflix or whatever.
Netflix, Amazon Prime, because it's definitely coming on for free on one of those. It's worth checking out. You know, when you're just bored, you want a comedy to watch, it's good enough to get you through that. So, yeah, I was actually surprised by this. Spoiler stuff, there's nothing really worth spoiling in this film. It's a comedy, all the spoiler stuff would be jokes. And and I'm not just going to come in here and tell you the joke after joke. But yeah, if you saw this film, let us know what you thought down below. This was actually kind of a short review for
Yeah,
once.
it was.
Oh, this was refreshing. Woo, man. Oh, if you want to see us do more reviews like this, let us know that in the comments down below as well. I'm trying to think of stuff to fill up time with just because it feels like we should. This feels odd. But yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. We've got another review coming up right after this one for, I checked the Friday box office. It's beating out Stuber, and I didn't even know that this was getting a wide release. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Crawl coming up in just a second. But tune in for that. Bye, everyone.
Bye.